the turn of the 20th century, America stood confident and proud. Industry roared, cities expanded, and science promised control over nature itself. Diseases like the plague were believed to belong to the past, relics of medieval Europe, not threats to a modern nation. San Francisco, the jewel of the West Coast, symbolized progress and ambition. Ships arrived daily from across the Pacific. Medical science had advanced rapidly, but confidence outpaced caution. Americans believed technology and modern living had made them immune to ancient threats. Ports were poorly inspected. Sanitation lagged behind growth. Hidden in the shadows, rats escaped from cargo holds and warehouses. Fleas followed, carrying a bacterium that had shaped human history for centuries. There were no alarms, no warnings. The plague entered San Francisco quietly, unnoticed by a nation convinced it was untouchable. San Francisco's Chinatown was vibrant and essential, but deliberately neglected. Racist laws confined Chinese residents to overcrowded blocks. Sanitation was poor, infrastructure ignored. Officials labeled the neighborhood dangerous while refusing to improve conditions. When disease arrived, Chinatown was not protected, it was targeted. In March 1900, a Chinese laborer was found dead in a basement. His symptoms were unmistakable: swollen glands, fever, blackened skin. To trained eyes, the truth was immediate. Bubonic plague had arrived in America. Federal scientists confirmed what leaders feared most. This was no rumor, no exaggeration, it was plague. And now the question was no longer how to stop it, but whether the truth would be allowed to exist at all. The idea of plague threatened trade, reputation, and profit. City leaders panicked, not over lives, but losses. They chose denial. Newspapers dismissed doctors. Officials accused scientists of sabotage. The truth was, declared the real enemy. Dr. Joseph Kinyoun spoke the truth and paid the price. Ridiculed, isolated, and removed, his warnings were buried. Science was sacrificed to protect image and commerce. Denial did not stop the disease. It only allowed it to spread. Beneath the surface, plague tightened its grip. Rather than protect the entire city, officials chose a simpler solution: containment by race. Chinatown was sealed, guarded, and isolated, while the rest of San Francisco moved freely. The plague was treated not as a public health crisis, but as a foreign problem. This decision would prove fatal, not only for those trapped inside, but for the entire city. Medical inspections turned into acts of humiliation. Homes were invaded, belongings destroyed, people treated as carriers rather than citizens. Fear replaced trust, and cooperation collapsed. The city believed force could replace science, but disease does not respect authority. Chinatown fought back, not with violence, but with law. Lawsuits challenged the racial quarantine, exposing discrimination disguised as medicine. The courts agreed. The quarantine was lifted. But the plague remained. The truth could no longer be denied. The plague was not confined to people. It was everywhere. Rats carried it through basements, docks, and sewers. Chinatown was not the source. The city itself was infected. San Francisco declared war on rats. Bounties were offered. Citizens hunted vermin for money. It was frantic, desperate, and too late. Killing rats without sanitation only drove infected fleas into human homes. The city's neglect was exposed. Aging sewers, overflowing trash, perfect conditions for plague. Years of denial had built an invisible empire beneath San Francisco, one ruled by disease. By 1903, the plague returned, stronger and impossible to hide. Cases spread beyond Chinatown. White citizens fell ill. Death certificates piled up. The lie collapsed under the weight of reality. Washington stepped in. This time, science led. Homes were cleaned, rats eliminated systematically, infrastructure rebuilt. The work was slow, expensive, and effective. By 1904, the plague faded. Not because it was denied, but because it was finally confronted.
That is enough.
Yet the story would not be told honestly. The city moved on. History was rewritten. With the plague finally under control, San Francisco's leaders turned to a new task: forgetting. Medical reports were buried. Newspapers softened language. Officials feared panic more than truth. A city built on ambition could not afford the stain of epidemic. History, like disease, was something to be contained. Those who tried to preserve the truth were sidelined. Scientists warned that denial could invite disaster again. Their voices faded into archives, while politicians promised stability. The plague was gone, but the lesson was erased. For Chinatown, forgetting was impossible. Families mourned in silence. Graves went unmarked. Their suffering never entered textbooks. The city moved forward, but the wounds remained, hidden beneath progress. San Francisco was America's gateway to the Pacific. Trade meant survival. Officials feared that admitting the plague would freeze ports, bankrupt businesses, and isolate the city, so they gambled, choosing commerce over caution. Economic elites demanded reassurance. Political careers depended on stability. Public speeches spoke of safety, while private meetings admitted fear. The truth was sacrificed to keep the wheels turning. A dangerous precedent was set. Disease could be hidden. Truth could be delayed. The plague ended, but the habit of denial lived on. Blame flowed downward. Immigrants were labeled carriers. Poor neighborhoods were policed, while wealthy areas were ignored.
Tonight, or the
Disease followed no borders, but prejudice did.
Keep your eyes open.
Those with power were shielded. Those without were exposed. Public health became selective, guided by influence rather than need. The plague revealed not just biological weakness, but moral failure. The fallout lasted decades. Immigration laws tightened, communities fractured. San Francisco thrived, but not everyone was allowed to share in its success. After the plague ended, experts warned that denial had nearly destroyed the city. They urged reforms, better sanitation, transparent reporting, equal treatment. Their words were recorded, archived, and forgotten. Growth returned faster than wisdom. America believed the danger had passed forever. Public health remained weak, subordinate to politics and profit. The plague was framed as an anomaly, not a warning. The systems meant to protect life stayed fragile, waiting for the next test. America chose optimism over preparation. The plague became a footnote, but history does not forget. It waits. Decades later, the same patterns emerge. Downplaying threats, delaying action, protecting markets. The ghosts of San Francisco walked again, this time on a national scale. Information spread faster, but clarity did not. Just as before, confusion filled the gaps left by leadership. Truth became negotiable. Fear became contagious. Delay costs lives. It always has. San Francisco proved it more than a century ago. The lesson was written in graves, but rarely read. When COVID arrived, America repeated its oldest mistake: hesitation. Leaders feared panic, markets, elections. The language changed. The logic didn't. Just like 1900, the burden fell unevenly. The vulnerable paid first. The powerful waited safely. Disease does not discriminate, but systems do. The forgotten plague of San Francisco was never really forgotten. It was ignored. And when the next crisis came, it returned, wearing a new name. Silence is rarely accidental. It is often a calculated choice. During the San Francisco plague, officials believed that controlling information meant controlling outcomes. Panic, they feared, would destroy the city faster than disease. But silence does not stop infection. It only delays response. By choosing control over transparency, leaders sacrifice time, the most valuable resource during an outbreak. Every delayed warning widened the spread. Every softened headline added another name to the death count. San Francisco was not unique. It was a prototype. Again and again, governments would choose silence, believing they could manage nature through messaging. History would prove them wrong every time. Today's world is faster, denser, more connected than ever. A disease that once moved by ship can now cross continents in hours. The conditions that fueled San Francisco's plague still exist, magnified. Science advances, but politics still interferes. The struggle between truth and power remains unresolved. The question is no longer whether another outbreak will come, but whether honesty will arrive in time. History does not demand repetition. It offers warning. Whether the next crisis becomes a tragedy